Yeah, it's relief rather than celebration. Glad the lads were able to get over the line. We needed the win, especially the way results turned out, like we were just talking about. And I'm thrilled for them because, I can sit here and say they didn't deserve to be down there, but we are, because the points tell you that. But they are really a better bunch, and I think we're probably a good striker away from being well into mid-table. We have a lot of young lads, and I think we hit a bad run at the wrong time. The transfer sort of window, or whatever you call it, passed. We couldn't really change a lot. We had what we had, and there's an awful lot of young boys in there, and they'll have learnt an awful lot from it. But they were struggling confidence-wise to get out of it once we'd lost 3 or 4. And I think we beat Scarborough away, which was a real good turning point, and then with Ferriby being out of the league, we didn't get a chance to go and back that up with back-to-back wins, which I'd have been confident of doing. And I think they just got themselves in that rut that young lads would do when things are going against them. But we kept performing well. We played well at Hednesford, played well at Hyde, and we've really missed all season a good goal scorer, and that's probably dragged us into a situation we shouldn't have been in. We brought a few players in and they didn't kick us on. Me and Gaz, for lots of different reasons, things changed player-wise, and it didn't come off for us. It could have gone the other way, and we could have been pushing for the playoffs, but it went the other way. But it's all history; it doesn't matter. Sharpie went on to different things, etc. But you're probably right. But if we could have had a goal scorer all season, things could have been different. And while Sharpie linked up play really well for us, he wasn't sort of a natural goal scorer either, and we've just missed goals.
So a few weeks ago you mentioned about the toxicity at the club. Is that something you still believe exists, and will you still be here next season?
As far as I know, I'll be here, yeah. Nothing changes from my point of view. I think it took sort of balls, so to speak, really, to say it, because I put my neck on the line, and I've risked getting the sack myself, but I felt that things needed to be said, and that shows me passion for turning the club around. Really, I could sit and pick up a wage and disappear off to another club quite easily, but I spoke out because I felt this club deserves change, and I think it's got to that bottom of the barrel time where change needs to happen for lots of different reasons. But it wasn't aimed at anyone in particular. It was just, let's all have a look at ourselves. Are we doing the right thing? Are we doing the best for the club? Are we making the right decisions? And not just me, I take some responsibility, this year's team do, but I think Stalybridge's demise has been going on for 4 or 5 seasons, so I think everyone that's been involved in that group and over that period need to look at themselves and ask, are we doing the best for the club? Because it's a fantastic football club, but it does have to change.
So how do you rebuild from now? You need more investment to bring in new players?
I think the problem our budget isn't great, and the initial conversations of that will be less again next year, so that becomes even more difficult. I think if you had the right off the field infrastructure, hopefully that will allow us to at least be together on a low budget. You've seen Bamber Bridge done great things with a low budget as a group, so I think that's important, but it'll be tough again if we do end up having another budget, because it'll be tough. I don't know everything about the finances off the field. I know they're not good. I know they could be better. I know they could be managed better. I was involved at Tranmere, club close to my heart, enjoyed my time there, and they're probably an example of a team that have done similar to Stalybridge Celtic within the Football League, and it's took lots of different things to change to almost hit the bottom of as low as they can go to bounce back. And I think we're at that stage now where can we make positive changes and move forward. My thoughts have been made to Rob and other people. It's not, I'm not speaking out of turn behind his back. I know all these things, and hopefully everybody can get themselves together in the summer and really make positive changes for the football club. But I think some of them will have to be hard, honest decisions.
So you're head of the academy now. How important will it be to bring through new youngsters to give, a new lease of life to the club? Is that what it's about, bringing in the youngsters and selling them on? Is that what it's about?
I think it's going to have to be, because the financial problems are there for all to see. So we don't have an ability to have a top budget. We don't have the ability to bring in players of a certain calibre. So we have to work with young players, and the academy, as it stands, is failing. It's not been good enough. We don't have enough numbers, and we don't have enough quality. And for a club where we're at, like I've said before, stadium aside, we're down there amongst the bottom 4 or 5, 6 clubs in this league. In terms of budget and infrastructure, we're down there. So a thriving academy will be massive, and we have to push that home. But again, it'll take time. Like the build on the field, it'll take time, and I just hope we get the sort of things that we need to be done right. I hope they back me and Gaz for a period of time. I hope they back the academy for a period of time, and I hope the club can move forward, because I care for it. If I wasn't passionate about it, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't speak out.
Some really good players in this squad today. You know, you got Mark Lees on loan from Ashton United. Is he someone you'd look to potentially recruit for next season as well?
Yeah, me and Gaz have discussed it. It's amazing, really. We've just stayed up and we're talking about next season, which we are. We've sat in and we've discussed it. Leesy coming in did really well. He understands how Stalybridge works because he's been here before, and we'll have a long chat, me and Gaz, about who we need to bring back that can benefit. A lot of young boys in there, but there's some good ones. You know, Neil Kengi, I think, has got 13 goals from about 20 starts. So whilst he's still very raw, there's a real good player in there. But we probably need to speak to the powers to be and see what the budget is, because if we do cut it, like it looks like we will, you're looking at a totally different kind of player to, you know, an increased budget, obviously. So if we cut it again, you know, we will have to look at different things. And as you said, there may be boys in the academy that are going to get a chance next year, and young lads like Elliot Cook that have had a taste of it. Those are boys we're probably relying on if we end up not getting the investment.
And Scott Backer, for me today, worked his socks off. I think he's worked his socks off all season. Perhaps not scored as many goals as you would have liked, but he showed real glimpses of class. Is he someone you want to keep on for next season? Yeah,
we'd love to keep Scott again. He's on a good wage. It'll depend again what we have to spend, whether we have to offer him less, which could be the case, which will be difficult then. But he's been outstanding. Whenever I've played against him at Clitheroe, he was different class. The thing that was labelled against Scott was always his attitude. But he's been different class, honestly. I can't speak highly enough of him. Training, games, he's given us everything, and he's really grown up, and the penny's dropped with Scott a little bit. And he's been, as you said, first class. But I think if he added them goals, and if he was that, he probably wouldn't be here. So we have to live a little bit with his end product, sometimes letting him down. But I think that's why he's in this division. I think if Scott added end product to his game, he'd be a lot higher.